What if you wanted to play your old video games from childhood, but you didn't want to spend any money? Well, you can do it, but it's harder than you think. Let me show you how. Hello everyone, we're back with another super exciting video. And we're back on the ROM attempt path, if you will. So as you know, I have the ROMs, but I can't really play them. And I've tried in Windows a little bit. I have the emulators that it came with on the drive, but they're very old. And I just kind of don't know how to use them, I guess. I didn't really try. I clicked on a couple and they work, but they don't. And I don't have a system, a secondary Windows system to try them on. And I don't want to put them on my main computer. So I thought, just in the meantime, I'm kind of curious to see how ROMs work in Linux. So here's Linux I just installed on a spare drive. And I'm told that it works pretty good for the most part. The original intent of this video was to install Batocera and use that, but for some reason it won't install. I made the flash drive, I booted it up once with a different GPU, and it started installing. It got to a certain point and it went to a black screen. After that, I tried to install it again with a different GPU. It just goes straight to as soon as it boots, it goes to a black screen. So I remade the flash drive, a new one, and same thing. So I don't know if it's the version I'm using or the computer or what, but I still have my Linux Mint USB stick, so I thought, well, let's try that. So no Batocera right now, and I was gonna try the Bazzite one, but I didn't want to make another whole disk. I just want to try this first and see how it works. So here's what we have. This system I have not made a video about yet. I think I talked about it, or maybe showed a picture of it at some point. This is a HP Compact 6300. It has a 3rd gen i7, 16 gigs of memory, and I just picked up this GTX 960 GPU just specifically for this purpose. Now this is a small form factor PC, so actually the GPU is not a small form factor, so that's the build I was trying to do to be funny, was to use a regular size GPU in the small form factor. But it's hard to find anything that fits because this particular layout is backwards. So the power supply is on the bottom and the PCI slot is at the top if you were to put it horizontally. And so basically any GPU that I try to use hits the CPU fan. So it has to be very small. So I have that GTX 960 on a riser cable and a SATA to 6-pin power adapter. And right now it's just kind of dangling. It's not really installed. I don't know how I want to do that yet. I may just make a whole different system, but I wanted to use this particular tower, even though I'm spending extra money and doing it the hard way, just to be kind of funny. You know, when you see it when it's done, it's going to look kind of weird because the GPU is going to be somehow, hopefully externally mounted through the top or the side of the case, sort of like that way you could ideally I was hoping you could switch out the GPU, you know, and use it as like an old test bench. I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. If I could find a low profile GPU, I would just do that at this point, because this is all costing too much. Even though the computer was free, all the adapters and everything, it's you know, making it more expensive. So here are the specs here. 960, I forget what 960 has, I think 2 gigs of VRAM. And it was suggested to me, especially for Batocera, to use a NVIDIA GPU. And the 900 series is supposedly the minimum requirements to run good ROMs. And then I hope I can also use the DVD drive and play the actual games. I don't know if it works that way. And then I have Linux Mint 21.2, and I believe now it's up to 22, right, is the next version. This is an old installation, but it's what I had, so I'm just using that one. Installation was pretty simple. Went really fast. It does have a SATA SSD. And then here are the games, some of them that I've started organizing. And I have a couple of goals. One is I want to run arcade games, actual arcade games, not consoles, because there's some that I wanted to try. And then I want to try Dreamcast. I know the old ones will work, so that's fine, but I want to try Dreamcast just because I've never actually used a Dreamcast. I've never had one before, and it seems like that's what most people like. I would like to try Sega Saturn. That would be fun. And also the what was the other thing? GameCube here. And I want to try, let me see if I have it. There was a console back in the day. Was it Neo Geo? Oh, there was 3DO. I remember those. I think there was, there it is, Neo Geo. I think it was Neo Geo was the one where you could actually play the arcade games at home, right? If I have that correct. It was really expensive. I never had one. My friend had one, and I remember it was super, you know, amazing because it was basically the actual arcade game at home, which was really cool. I think it was like $300 or $400 at the time, which was, you know, insane for a console for kids, you know. So here's what I have. I downloaded this MAME. See if that works. Okay. And let's see. And then the other one they said to do, first I watched another video on RetroArch. Is that in here? RetroArch. Okay. So let's install that. And it seems to be this is pretty easy because it's all in the software manager menu thing. So that's cool. 1.5 gigabytes. This is a very small SATA drive. So I'm hoping that I can install just the basic things on the SSD. And then I have a 1 terabyte hard drive that I want to put the actual ROMs on. These are all on a external drive right now, but I don't want to leave it plugged in. I want to just but copy the ones that I want to the 1 TB drive. And then that way whoever gets this machine will get those as well. And I'm kind of curious to see how many games you can fit in a 1 TB space. Good games. Because some of them are pretty big. Especially like PSP is huge. That's a lot of gigabytes for PSP. I don't know why people want to play PSPs so much. I think because PSP games are similar to PlayStation games, right? And they're probably smaller and will run on older hardware. So I think that's why people go for the PSP games. Or maybe because people had a PSP back in the day. I never did, so I don't know. But stuff like Nintendo and Super Nintendo, they don't take up very much space at all. But anything that was on a disc originally is what takes up a lot of space. So let's see, arcade is, oh, that's small, 4 gig. Actually, that's small enough. I could just put it on this data drive on the SSD. So where would you put them? Under let's see, home. I'm not used to using the Linux file system, so let's say games, and then, because they have to be able to be found somewhere, right? And then arcade. So let's try that. Arcade emulation. Arcade MAME ROMs copy. I didn't know they were so small. It's copying that, okay. So MAME went under games. So let's see, available. Audit media. Okay. Oops. If I remember this correctly, you add the folder, then you scan it, and then it knows that they're there, and then you can launch them. So let's see. And I don't know what the controls are for the keyboard. And then as far as the controller, I have an Xbox controller, the original Xbox with USB, but it doesn't work. And somebody said you have to download the driver for it because it's old. So I have to figure out how to do that. But that was in Windows. So I wonder if in Linux it would just work. Oh man, this was the best game ever. Let me see if I can make the speaker work. It's this one. There's still no sound for some reason. So anyway, that works. I'm going to now try to set up the RetroArch and maybe download something else. And we'll be back in a little bit and try it out. Okay, we made it. So we have now Mint with the 1 TB hard drive added here. And I added Google Chrome. And we downloaded RetroArch. So this is the first time I'm running that. See what happens. It's kind of a little sluggish, even though it has an SSD. It seems like things take a little while to happen, but I don't know if it's because it's old or it's a new install. It's just a little... I have the speakers plugged in, which didn't work before. So let's see if we get sound. So I put here, this is the 1 terabyte hard drive, so let's rename these. 64. I didn't put everything because I can't fit everything on this drive, obviously. So I just kind of put the things that are popular. So I did put a couple of GameCube because I wanted to see those. I don't know what games are popular on GameCube. I have a whole bunch of them, but they're too big. So I just put, I know Smash Brothers is a popular one. Need for Speed, I kind of remember. And Mega Man, I kind of wanted to see what that's about. And then Genesis and 32X and Game Boy Advance. For some reason, people always ask me for those ROMs, so I'm gonna check that out. So they're on the drive. What happened to the RetroArch? Okay, games, RetroArch. There it is. Is it not gonna run? I didn't test it. I downloaded it and I didn't test it. Oh, come on, man. Anyway, while it's installing the updates, I just wanted to talk about the configuration more. So I put the hard drive in its intended spot, which is under the power supply, and that works. I'm surprised that Linux actually shows you the temperature of the hard drive just by default, which is kind of cool. It's running at 90 Fahrenheit. I didn't know hard drives ran that hot. That's kind of a bit much. So here's the problem. I have the hard drive now, the SATA SSD, and the GPU all running through the same power connection. So there's three power ports. That's all you get. So I can't run the DVD drive because 1, there's no more spots, and 2, if I did add a splitter, I'm kind of worried about, too much power going through that one connection. So that's okay. I don't need the DVD drive right now. So I have to figure out what to do with that. I really want to find some sort of card that doesn't need the extra power connection. Maybe like a 1050 Ti or a 950. I can't remember if those use power connections or not. Something relatively low profile or low power usage. My dream would be to have it have no fan. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but you can't see it, but there's basically, the whole system has one fan. The fan goes from the front of the case over the CPU cooler, which would normally have its own fan, and then out the back. Also, some of the air would go to the GPU area. So ideally, I would have no fan on the GPU, no fan on the CPU cooler, and just the one fan kind of just blowing over everything. Kind of like an old Xbox, if that makes sense. That's how it used to be. It was like one fan for everything. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. And I mean, I could take out the SATA SSD and just use the hard drive only, because in this case, I don't think we need an SSD for playing games, because it doesn't need to be fast. They're old games. But it doesn't take up much power anyway. Or I could get a 1 terabyte SSD, which would take less power, or an external. I could convert the 1 terabyte to external, or just grab one of those, you know, those little external drives. People sell them all the time for 30-40 bucks, something like that. So I don't know, or put it in a different case. But the whole point of this was to use the case that it came in, because it looks like an Xbox, the small form factor. And then so yeah, so I have to decide what to do there. But there are 2 PCI X1 slots, so I could put some sort of SATA adapter there, but yeah, that's just too much work. I just want it to work the way it is. The funny thing is, you could just buy like a 6th gen small form factor and everything would be perfect, you know, for 50 bucks. But I don't want to do that because this one was free. So I want to use the free stuff. But then if I use the free stuff and I have to spend extra money to make the free stuff work, it's not free anymore. So it's kind of frustrating. But anyway, we'll let this finish, and then we will see if RetroArch works. If it doesn't, we're just going to give up there, and I'll have to figure out something else. So we'll be back again. Okay, we're back. So after the 400 updates, now it works, which is interesting. So let's see. I plugged in an Xbox controller, which it said it recognized. So I don't know if that's going to help or not, but download a core, install a core. What's a core? I don't know how to use it. I probably should have looked that up. I'd watched a couple videos. Import content. Okay, let's try that. Scan a directory. Import content. That should be configuration file. Let's try this. Okay. Maybe this will be easier. Okay. So file browser, file, load core. Don't know what that means. Search, start directory, playlists, other locations, games, console. Select. Okay. So that's added. Now. Oh, we're so close, man. Import content, scan directory, scan this directory. Okay. Oh, something's happening. Okay. 6,000, wow. Oh, it's all those Game Boy Advance ones. That's what. Probably shouldn't have done that. Okay, we'll speed this up real quick. Okay, scanning finished. And I think the controller works, yeah? Back. Nice, the controller works. So how do you... How do you play? Back, load core. Xbox One controller configured. I thought this was a 360 controller. Okay. So load core. Download a core? Oh, the core is the emulator, right? Okay, so interesting. I didn't put this. Can I try? Sega Genesis, right? I thought this had some kind of graphical menu. Mega Drive, Genesis, plus Saturn, Neo Geo I didn't put yet. Let's try this one. Installed. Back. Load core. Mega Drive. How do you... Why is this so difficult? Okay, load content. Which content? Don't know. I thought for sure when I saw the video of somebody using this, there was like a graphical thing. If we can get Sonic, I'll be happy. It's way down here. Just need to know if the sound's gonna work or not. Let's try Mortal Kombat. Load archive. Yes. Is there sound? There is no knowledge that is not power. Oh, we have sound. We have controller. So this is Sega Genesis Mortal Kombat 3, which I basically spent my entire life playing. Oh yeah. Nice. And the graphics are terrible. Oh boy. And this was 3, not 2. Guess they were simpler times back then. I don't even know what the button controls are. I thought you could fly. Wow. What's the flying there? Wonder what happens if you make it full screen. Oh, it gets worse. Okay. Hey, it works. That's all we can ask for. Let's try MAME now, real quick, and then we'll get out of here. And let's see. I think the controller doesn't work for this. So on the keyboard, have you started? Insert coin. No, that's not right. This was a popular game, Afterburner. Insert coin. I'm ready. So this was an actual arcade game. Oh yeah. Woohoo! Where's the... Let's see. I forgot how this game works. And if you went to get a pizza with your family, you were playing Afterburner. I can tell you that. I thought there was a gun. Is there only missiles? This is the gun. Where's the missiles? Oh, this is the gun. Nice. Nice. Oh man, you'd get dizzy playing this. Reload weapons. Nice. So this is shooting. And then when you get a lock, you would shoot the missile. Insert coin. Yeah, we have unlimited coins. We can play forever. Oh. Oh, eject. Oh, I'm dead. I think there was a way to go faster. You suck at this game. Anyway, 2 hours later, we made it. Thanks for watching. I'll get a little more used to this, but Linux works, the old computer works, sound works, the games work, the controller works. and it was all kind of free. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
I'll get up